How's it going, folks? Adrian here. Welcome back to the channel for a quick alert that while Black Friday is now over, some of the MMORPG sales currently going on is not, and there's still a day or two left to pick up some new and old titles at a discounted price. Aimed for new players to the genre mostly, or anyone looking for a side game to play, feel free to leave your suggestions on what folks could grab on sale right now too down in the comments. Let's start with a couple of new releases on Steam that are already on sale, although not by very much. First up is Amazon's New World MMO, which was released only a couple of months back. Both the standard and deluxe editions are 25% off on Steam until December 2nd. I'm gonna say it, New World is not for everyone, but folks who like a gritty open world MMO with action combat and socially driven PvE and PvP gameplay just might like this. I'm still playing it, and I have been since launch, and some weeks I love it for all the group action in expeditions or large wars that I get, but other weeks I just don't bother when there's blatant exploits and bugs that just ruins the fun for everyone. Especially when certain aspects of gameplay, like settlement ownership for your faction, is at stake. At that sale price, you could wait a little longer for it to drop in the future, since the game is still very new and the developers are still fixing things, albeit slowly. It's already gotten its first major update, but there are core issues that still exist. Another new title is an indie Kickstarter success story, and that's Book of Travels. This is, according to its Steam description, a TMO, or Tiny Multiplayer Online, where other players are few in your gameplay, but your paths will eventually cross. It's currently 10% off on Steam until December 2nd as well, and I gotta admit, I'll be picking this one up shortly. The game's unique hand-drawn art style is gorgeous to look at, and I'm curious about the world, its emphasis on the roleplay, and the reviews so far do paint a pretty promising picture. Players new to the genre might want to check out the more traditional style of MMOs, which we'll be covering shortly, before diving into a niche like this. Now onto the heavy hitters, the most popular MMORPGs today that you can play, and 3 out of the big 5 are indeed having sales right now, and I'll always recommend these, especially to new MMO players. You'll find plenty of reviews or impressions about them on my channel. Let's start with The Elder Scrolls Online. The standard edition with the Morrowind chapter, aka expansion bundled in, is currently 70% off on Steam until December 2nd. It's silly to not recommend this at that price, because what the base game offers alone in content is pretty generous. You've got hours of fully voiced PvE quests, there's 2 PvP game modes, group content, and so much more in ESO. You won't even need to worry about the optional subscription or all the DLCs just yet. If you can handle its polarizing combat system and style, then you've got a real gem here. ESO is probably my top pick for current best buy-to-play MMO. Then there's Black Desert Online, the quintessential Korean MMORPG experience. It is the most popular South Korean MMORPG on the market despite its age, because it does tick all the boxes for players who like great visuals, customization, flashy action combat, open world PvP, sandbox life skills, and the game is far from done when it comes to updates and new content. It is a buy-to-play game, and it's currently 90% off on Steam until the 2nd as well. That's like $2 for me, so yeah, it's pretty cheap if you haven't checked out BDO yet. There's also ArenaNet's Guild Wars 2, which is a free-to-play game, but the expansions are not, and that's currently what's on sale if you're an NA, SA, or EU. From now until the end of the year, December 31st, you can grab the game's second expansion, Path of Fire, on Amazon or other participating retailers for 50% off, and it does come bundled in with the game's first expansion, Heart of Thorns. That simply means after you hit the free-to-play content cap, which is the end of the vanilla story at level 80, you'll have more maps to play on, more stories, raids, and class specializations to play with, until, of course, the new End of Dragons expansion comes out next year. Now, unfortunately, the World of Warcraft Shadowlands expansion sale, which was 50% off, expires today, so I do hope you pick it up on time. I also tried looking for deals for Final Fantasy XIV, which is a must-play if you do enjoy the IP, JRPG storytelling, and you can afford its subscription, but alas, I didn't find any discounts. FF14 does have a new expansion, Endwalker, coming out in a few days still. Before I go, there's a ton more discounted games on Steam that I'm going to briefly mention, like Gloria Victis, Project Gorgon, Wild Tower 2, and more. So if you've got time, skim through the Steam platform with the MMO tag on to see what other deals might interest you if you need to scratch an itch. And that about wraps up my suggestions for what to grab in the final hours of this year's Black Friday sales, especially if you're new to MMORPGs in general or are looking for something new to play. Stay tuned, more coming your way. Meantime, hit the like button if you found this helpful, and hey, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Have a good week ahead, guys. Once again, I'm Adrian, and I thank you for watching.